which is a visual comparison offering that we have. So how you can integrate your current test case with the SmartUI? It's quite easy. So we have a built-in SDK. So you can install that dependency on your current code, and then your whole script would remain same based on your requirement. Like this is my sample Selenium script. And the only part, so whichever step I want to take a screenshot on, I would add this particular command to take a screenshot, and then I set a name for that particular screenshot. Additionally, I also have a config.json file, smartui.json file, in which I give in different browser OS combinations and viewports that I want to capture my screenshot on. So what is special about this offering is from a single test run, I can also capture multiple browsers and viewports. So even if I'm running a single Selenium test, I would have my visual comparison or the UI test covered for different combinations in a single go. So now, right now, I'll be taking a screenshot on these mobile combinations and these browser combinations. So in the run command, I'm utilizing our SmartUI CLI, and then I'm giving the path to my configuration file, and then I'm giving in my execution command. Right now, as my repository is in Java TestNG, so I'm using Maven, and then I am pointing it to my XML file. So this was the coding perspective. Now I will showcase from the front-end perspective, what are the requirements. So I'll click on a new project, and I'll click on Bootcamp demo, which I'll be setting as the project name. So either I can take a normal screenshot via Hug, but as we are taking the screenshot via our latest offering, which is the CLI. So I'll select the CLI, which enables us to take multiple screenshots from a single test execution itself, which I showed using the test script. So I'll click on continue. Okay, I'll change the name because it is showing me that name from this project already exists. Yeah, so as soon as I am onto this page, it gives me all the frameworks with which my CLI integrates. And based on my selection, I configure my CLI, which was already configured with my current project. But if you are doing it from scratch, you get all the basic options to install the dependencies and then compile and install our SmartUI CLI, and then set the project token so as all your builds come on to this particular project that you created. And then again, we are getting that basic command through which we ran our test case. So I'll quickly go back and show you a previously ran test. So my current test case is still running. So as to save everyone's time, I'll take an example of my previous execution. So on the first go, I took a screenshot of these three pages, which is the Amazon page, the IP info page, and the Flipkart page. And in my subsequent build, which I again ran on the same project, I am getting the comparison. So from the UI perspective, you get an option to select this build, and you'll be able to see all the screenshots that were taken based on their status. You can also filter those screenshots out. So in the all section, you'll be able to see all the screenshots. From the changes found section, you would be able to see all the screenshots on which changes were found. So you could see currently this first page does not have any changes. So they have been filtered out onto the changes found page. And then as soon as you open any of the screenshots, it goes from changes found state to under screening. And then you can approve or disapprove that screenshot. So I'll quickly go on and open a page. So on the dashboard, here I see all the combinations on which I took the screenshot on and all the viewports as well. So as on the front end, I select these three browsers and an Apple browser, which is Safari. And these were the pixel viewports that were set by me. So I can switch between them very easily and compare them as well. And then I can also mark them as reject or approved based on if I'm okay with the changes that I have got. Then on the left hand side, you have you get the option to hover from or switch from different screenshot, and you can also filter them out based on their status. These are currently showing me. I can also remove the side pane, and currently I'm getting into a comparison window on which on the left hand side I'm able to see a baseline image, and on the right hand side I am able to see the captured screenshot and the comparison with that screenshot. If I want to hover onto them differently, I can switch between them using these icons. Then I get an option to see the differences or does not see the differences, and same goes for the annotation. So we have two comparison strategies in place currently. One is the pixel to pixel comparison strategy, which compares these images that have been taken based on the pixel. But as we are on to the latest uh, timeline and AI features have been implemented, so rather than doing the pixel to pixel comparison, people these days usually prefer DOM comparison. Why DOM comparison has an edge over to pixel comparison? I'll showcase that from an example. So in this particular screenshot, what happened is my uh, clear bit page, this clear bit has a little misalignment, and due to which there was a little shift onto the whole page. Therefore, you are seeing that it is marking this whole page as a difference. And we could see a different being marked for the whole page for a little layout shift. And this is happening because right now I'm into pixel to pixel comparison. But as soon as I'll switch to Smart Ignore, so it smartly analyzes the whole DOM that is available for the screenshot, and will come to know that ideally there was only a particular layout shift, and this does not have any difference on the go. The only difference was onto this changed number, which are now highlighted, and all the other mismatch which was there has been wiped off, because ideally that was not a mismatch. It was only a false mismatch that was being shown due to the layout shift. So that's how Smart Ignore feature helps you. So if you have any layout shift because of an addition or a removal of a banner or any component, we would take care of that, and you would again does not hamper your mismatch percentage or the comparison. Then you also get an option to download the screenshot onto your local system and report the bug of this particular um, screenshot which was taken and the comparison onto again your bug marking tool. So all of our offering have all the direct integration with the tools that you're using. One more important feature that comes into play is the ignore DOM. So what it does is, let's say I'm aware that there is a particular section onto my screenshot which is ideally has a tendency to change frequently, like this marker which keeps on increasing on the go. So I'll select this area and I can either uh, include or ignore from my current selection. So ideally, I would save it and ignore it from my current selection and apply changes. So I would be able to see that currently it has removed it from my comparison. Although there is a difference of the number line that is happening, it is not including it in my comparison that is happening. So this feature also comes into handy while you're doing these comparisons. Uh, then we also have some basic settings that can be configured, in which you can change the name, add the list of approvers, which you would like to manage and approve these test cases. And then you get an option to, like, if you want the pixel comparison to be relaxed or in a strict manner. So currently I have selected it to be broken down into 500 small pixels, 5,000 small pixels, and then be compared. You also get an option to select the highlight color of the mismatch. Right now it is pink for my case. Then, as I was showing you, the auto accept or auto reject feature, if there's no difference onto your consequent build screenshot, they are auto accepted. But I can also set in a limit for that. Let's say if any of my screenshot have a mismatch percentage of less than 10%, I want them to be auto approved in bulk, or based on auto rejected if anyone has uh, more than 90% of mismatch. That can also be achieved. Again, I can enable smart ignore for the whole build as well in one go. Then the bounding boxes, which we were ignoring or including, that can also be done for the whole build based on the different parameters that I'm giving in. And then I also get an option to connect this to my baseline branch, which would be useful for me to check into my GitHub PR and auto mark the whole build as approved or uh, disapproved. Then you can also turn in the notification for email and Slack so as to receive as soon as a new build kinks in and you get the mismatches onto the screenshot. So some of these settings can also be configured via the capabilities. So we have that on the documentation, and you can also control these settings from the capability, or you can also set them from the front end for the test cases. So this was a basic overview onto our Smart UI, which was our UI visual UI testing tool.